Hello everyone. This tutorial is to show you how to properly connect students with Google Meet. Now, these regulations are really important because we are, trying to stay within the guidelines, the laws that we are bound by as a school corporation, and just the decency, I guess, to protect our children online. So I know a lot of you have been wanting to try things with Zoom and things like that, and I know a lot of schools are doing that, but we've done the research and they don't comply with the permissions that we've given our students and what they've consented to as of this point. And we want to make sure that we're in compliance. So if you have any more questions about that, you might want to reach out to Jill Wyram. She knows a lot more about the legal aspects. But what I want to show you today is how to use Google Meet in a way that is in compliance with all those laws. And that will help protect you as well as our students. So here we are on Google Meet. Let's talk first about how to get here. Sorry for all the notifications. I should have turned those off. Meet.google.com. Right here is the address. To get there. You can also get there from any Waffle. So if you're already on a Google app and you go to the Waffle, Google Meet should be in your listing there. For me, it's all the way at the bottom, but you may check that. If you go from like your school email account, if you're on your email page and you go from the Waffle to Google Meet, you're going to automatically be signed in. And you can see that by your avatar up here, your icon, and it'll have your school email address on that. If you're not signed in, or if your students are not signed in, it will have a sign in button here that you can click on and then sign in. It is very important that you're signing in with your school Google account. It cannot be a personal account. And if you go back and forth between a personal account and a school account on the same device, that can get messed up. Even when you think you're signed into your school one, you may not be. So you want to always check this, and you want to train your students to do the same, to make sure they're on their school account. Okay, so going to meet.google.com, signing in here, or going from the Waffle, those are your best bets to make sure that you're signed in properly. One other option is through Clever. So you've been putting your e-learning lessons here on Clever, and since students are going here anyway for that purpose, this may be a good place to put them. Just for consistency's sake, if nothing else. So when you go down here to add, we've been using categories and links, but you can also add an app. So if we go here, we can type in Meet, and you can find it right there. And then you can add Google Meet. And that's going to put it right above, and I think it's going to keep it at the top, but you can move these up and down too so that you're maybe keeping that at the top if you want to. So you can put that link in there, that app in there, so they can go straight to Google Meet. Now the thing with Clever is it's single sign-on for Google Apps. So what that means is that when students click this, it's going to fill in their Google information, but then when they click connect or whatever the button says, it will still make them enter that again. They will have to sign in with their Google account. It should only be one time, and after that, Clever should hold on to that information and autofill it and auto-enter it for them. But students will have to enter their Google information, their school email address, and their ID number the first time. Because of that, I'm not sure this is a great recommendation for primary grades. Even though they use their badge to get into Clever, they would still have to enter their information when they try to go to Google Meet. I've tested that out and shown that it's true. So you just might want to consider this. It just might not be the best thing for primary grade teachers to be using. And it is totally optional. So there's no mandate for you to be using Google Meet at all. Okay, but for everyone else, this may be your best way of doing that. They sign in and then they get connected with their school account, and you can be sure that they are. Okay, so the next step is to actually create your meeting. So when you're ready to do your live meeting with your students, you're going to come in here and click join or start a meeting, and you're going to create a meeting code. This code is how the students need to get into your meeting. There are other ways for them to do so, but those other ways open the door to some things that are not in compliance. So we want to make sure that we're using the code. Okay, and Google is working on some lockdown things so that when we because of all the e-learning stuff going on, so that when students connect with the code, they're a little more protected than when they connect with a link, and they're a little more restricted as well. So we definitely want to use the code. So I'm going to call this like Porter, well, I think I've already used that. Let's go with a crazy number, Porter 20. But you want to name this, whatever makes sense to you. As of right now, this code doesn't show up in any of the records, but it is what you'll give the students. So make sure you're making it something simple that you can communicate to them. So we click continue, and then it's going to open this up. It's probably going to ask you for permission to use your webcam and your microphone. I've already granted those permissions, so there I am in all my stay-at-home glory. And then you can come over here and it says no one else is here, join now and present. Now, even if you're going to present your screen as part of a lesson or something, you don't want to go straight to here. You want to go to join now to start with. So I'm going to click that and it's going to load the meeting. Now that code that's given that I gave you, this meeting, Porter 20, this is the thing you want to send to your students. So you want to direct them to go to meet.google.com or click on it from your Clever page, sign in with their school Google account, and then they join with this code. Like I said, there are other ways to join. Here's the direct link, here's the phone number. But when you use these options, we are not under our guidelines and we are not protecting students as much as we could be. So important to give them this code, okay? And once you do, you'll be in and you can see when students start appearing here, this number will start changing. You can click on this to see who's connected. Okay, so there'll be other videos that show you some of the other fine points of using this, but this one is about how to connect students with their Google account and how to give them that code. If you have any questions, reach out to me.